Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Govea and I am one of the navigators for Title III, and today I'm going to show you how to log in and use the You Can Book Me scheduling system. As you can see, you can use your Microsoft account, so your Outlook, or you can use a Google account to set this up, whatever is easier for you. So I'm going to go in with my Microsoft Outlook account, so the Bristol email here. Okay, so once you are able to create an account, this is what your dashboard is going to look like. So we're just going to go into Edit Settings here so I can show you the different features of the system. Okay, so under General Settings, this here is the link that I chose to be able to put into my email, so you can just copy and paste it so your students have access to it. The good thing about the You Can Book Me system is that it's free to use and it's completely online, so the students don't have to log into the Access BCC to use it, and you can share the link with them any way you'd like. So when you do sign up, you're going to be given the option of the link that you want. And so the title page is just advising appointments, and then the booking instructions here, you have very limited characters that you can use here, so I just made it very simple for the students to read and understand. So as one of the navigators here, I do evening appointments on Mondays, and then I also do appointments in New Bedford on Wednesdays, but I don't use the You Can Book Me system for those days because we use AdvisorTrack for those. So here I just said that if you need an evening appointment or need to meet at the New Bedford campus, to please email me. And I always have the location for my Fall River office here. And I also do video conferencing, so I want to let them know that I can do it and that I use Zoom. Here you'll be able to link your calendar. As you can see, I linked my Outlook calendar to it so that it pulls availability directly from that calendar. The great thing about this system is that it automatically connects to Outlook and it talks to it in real time. So if, for example, you had availability between 1 and 3, and then today you had to go to a meeting from 2 to 3, it would automatically gray out 2 to 3 so that the students can't book during that time. Here you can set your availability. I have mine set this way. 1 o'clock here because I do the earlier appointments on Mondays here and the evenings in the G building, and those ones they have to book through AdvisorTrack. And then here's the other days that I put. The great thing about this screen is that here you can input a break, so I put in my lunch from 12 to 1, so that 12 to 1 time frame will always be blocked off in my availability calendar so the students can't book. This is really good, especially if you're teaching a class, because you can put in the class time so that nobody can book when you're teaching a class. So duration and display, I always have it set up for 30 minutes. That's typically what we do here in advising appointments anyways. If a student wants longer, we can do longer, but generally speaking, we do it for 30 minutes. And so because I set it for this, the fixed duration is always going to be 30 minutes unless I change it. Here, you can set how early or how late a student can book with you. So for me, I put the minimum booking notice as 1 day, and that's because I want to be able to be prepared for the appointment. So I don't want to come in and then they book a 12 o'clock appointment at 11 o'clock in the morning that same day, because I could be doing a different project or catching up on other things, and I want to be well prepared for my appointments. And then the max advanced booking here, this is how far out you want the students to see, so I like to let them see 3 weeks out so they have an idea of the different availabilities that I do offer, just in case for some reason 1 week is completely full, they can go in and look at the other weeks and find a time that works for them. So appointment types, we don't do anything with this screen in the free version because it doesn't allow us to. So I can't embed it into the system here, but I do have another way to do it that I'm going to show you in a minute. So language and time zone, it's automatically set to our time zone, Eastern time. The way I have this page set up, which is great, is that I can display the booking page time zone and the booker's time zone. So for example, I have a student that lives in Alaska. If they schedule an appointment to do a Zoom video conference, then it will tell me their time and it will tell them my time so that we don't go and log in at different times, which is great. So this is a booking form. These are the questions I always ask the students. They're required to fill this out before they can schedule the appointment. So their first name, their last name, their email. I have all of these set to be required. so that they can't get past anything else without doing this part of it. Under email, I have it labeled as email, but they let us put in some text after the question, and I just said to provide the Bristol email, not the personal email, since we're only supposed to be communicating with them through their student email. I always have them put in their student ID number. Here in the text, I tell them where it can be found, just in case they're not sure. And then I always have them put in a phone number, and then here is the appointment type that I can manually put in. Since I can't embed it into the system, I can put it here. I set it up as multiple choice drop down, in person, phone, or web conference, just so I know, and it will give me all that information later when you see what a booking looks like. And then I always ask for a reason for the appointment, because I want to have an idea of what they want to talk about so I can be even more prepared, because a career conversation might be very different than someone going through a personal issue that needs to talk about academics related to that issue. So here it just kind of gives me some background information so I can be more prepared to meet with the student. All right, so after booking, so once the student goes through and books an appointment, they will get this notification here. And you can see it gives them the name, thanks, here they use John. It says the time that it's booked, the location, and then the information that I put in the beginning of the system with the notes in it. And then they can automatically add it to their calendar as well from here. Payments, we don't do anything with this screen. So notifications and workflow. So after a booking is made, I have it set so it sends an email to me. And so this is what it will look like. If someone was to book an appointment, it will tell me the start and end day and time. It shows the Eastern time here. And here it's showing me their start time, for example, is UTC time, which is 3:21 there and 11:21 a.m. here, so I can see that. And then here from your booking form that you put in the questions earlier, you can see the first name, the last name, the email, the ID number, the phone number, appointment type, and the reason. And then there's always a link for you and them to be able to cancel if you need to reschedule. You just go back. And then this is what the email to the booker will look like. So it looks a little bit different. It has a person's name, thank you for booking, it says the time, and here it's showing their time zone so they know. It says the duration and then all the information that you had earlier, and then it gives them another option to add to their calendar if they haven't done it yet, and here they can cancel or reschedule if they need to. So if a booking is rescheduled, I have it set to send the booker an email if I have to reschedule, and then if the booker has to reschedule, I have it set to send an email to me. So the email to the booker, if I were to reschedule, this is what it will look like. Person's name, your appointment has been rescheduled, more details about it, the duration, and then they have the opportunity to add it again if they need to, and again, reschedule or cancel if they have to. If the booker reschedules, this is what it comes in as for the email to me. It shows me the original start time and then the rescheduled start time so that I know, and then all the information here that we saw earlier, and then the information here as well, and again another option to cancel or reschedule. So if a booking is canceled, again I have the emails coming to both of us. So if I cancel the email, then this is what if I cancel the appointment, this is what the email will look like that goes to the booker. It just says, sorry, I've had to cancel, please find an alternative time. And then if they cancel it, an email will come to you, and this is what it will look like. So when they go to cancel, if they have to ask for a reason that they have to fill out, so here it will tell me whatever the reason was, which in this case it was just I won't be able to attend. The information, the start and end times, again their start and end time, and then the information here. So reminders before booking, we don't really do this right now with the free version, and then or after the appointment ends. These are for the paid version, but that's okay because this is what we mostly use anyways. And then calendar events. This is what it will look like, so that you can see it with the information, just telling you when the booking is made and all the information here. And then styles and appearances, because it's the free version, this is the only one that we can do. But it still works because, you know, it has my notes here, my location here, so the students are always seeing a location no matter what and any point of the booking. So I'm going to go into a live preview so you can kind of see what it looks like. For example, I'm going to schedule an appointment for 11 a.m. on October 31st. And I'm going to fill in my information. I'll put in my Bristol email. I'm just going to put zeros for this. My phone number, I'm just going to put in my desk phone. Appointment type, I'm going to choose web conference. And then reason for appointment, I'm just going to say add a class. And then you click I'm not a robot, or they will click I'm not a robot and confirm. And then this is what it looks like that I showed you earlier, and I can add it to my calendar if I wanted to. So let me get out of this. So as you can see in the live preview, okay, so as you can see, today is the 29th. It has the grayed out times for Wednesday, and that it's only showing for Thursday that they can book, and I'm out of the office Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So then if I go into the following week, it will show you, so this is completely grayed out for Wednesdays because I'm in New Bedford, but if it was already on Tuesday and they were going in, they wouldn't be able to book anything for Tuesday, just for Wednesday or, well, not Wednesday, Thursday or Friday. The other great thing about this appointment scheduling system is if you go back to your dashboard here, you can go into bookings and you can see everyone that's booked an appointment. So it will show you pretty far back, past appointments, and then upcoming appointments. So as you can see here, for example, Melinda scheduled her appointment for October 3rd at 11:30, and she made the booking, like the booking on 9/26, so that I have an idea of the lapse between the time they booked and the actual booking in case I need to send a reminder email or something like that. It will also show when it's canceled here. Okay. And then it's just showing my upcoming appointments that I have coming up. So Cheyenne, for example, booked an appointment for October 31st at 1, and she booked the appointment today for that day. And here you can see the one that we did as a test. If you go into the details, you can see all the information that was there. Just go to the dashboard for a minute. So the reason why I really like this system as opposed to AdvisorTrack is because it's an online system, so students can access it at any point. As I said before, they don't need to log into the Access BCC account to get to the availability through here, which is great. It also allows you to set it up so that it will change the screen to fit like a smartphone or a tablet if they're doing it that way. The reason why we use AdvisorTrack for our evening and other campus appointments is because that's being used across the campus right now. I don't like to use AdvisorTrack because it doesn't let me specify location. So for example, when I'm in New Bedford, it will just say that my location is Building G in room 217, except there is no G217 in New Bedford. So it's much easier for me to use this because I can customize my locations and write everything out for the student. And it's, you know, we do it so that it stays consistent at the other campuses, but it will be much easier once we can do all of it at the same time in the same place. The paid version is great too because you can do a lot of things with that, but I just like that this can be very customized and only get sent to your students, so not every student can access it, which is definitely a thing with AdvisorTrack, is that any student can go in and pick anyone and book an appointment with them even if they're not your advisee. By using this system, you generate the link and you send it to only the people that you want to have the link. So you get only your students or other students that you want to meet with you, they'll get the link and they can do it. So it's a really great system. It's free. If you have any questions about it, let me know. You could always email me or you can give me a call. My desk phone is 774-357-3045. And then my email is here. So I'm happy to answer any questions or do more in-depth trainings if you need to.